Hello, everyone. Welcome to Geekonomics. We're back. It's another week. It's another show. We're on a different set today. We're on the big set.
Oh, the big one.
We've stepped up to the big set. We're in the process of redoing all the lights here in the studio.
Yeah.
And our set right now has no lights on it whatsoever.
Totally dark.
So they're all sitting on the floor, literally across the studio from us. So, so we're doing the show here today. And hopefully next week we'll have new lights. We'll have all LED lights next week.
You know, I'm not going to, I'll be honest, Mark, this is kind of cozy over here.
Yeah, well, it's a lot more space.
I'm not as claustrophobic.
You don't feel like that wall right behind you.
Yeah.
You don't feel everything like right on top of you.
I feel like we could do so many activities.
Yeah, there's so much room for activities. We can put up a bunk bed. It's going to be great.
Oh, my God. I feel like we could do jazzercise.
We could do dance fitness.
Dance fitness.
Yes, and all sorts of things.
Yeah. We could do ETV.
We could. This is where the ETV happens.
Yeah.
We're on the ETV set right now.
We're on the, believe it or not.
Do you feel musical? Do you feel like you have a talent? I don't. But
ETV magic.
It's EQTV magic. As I call it.
We got a lot to talk about.
We
today,
do.
Mark.
Backlash happened over the weekend.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. We're going to talk about our results.
Yes.
We also are going to catch up
Only one person had the wrong answer, and that person sitting across from me. Everything else was correct. You missed one thing.
You're not supposed to ruin it.
That's what I'm saying. You don't know which match it was.
We're not supposed to discuss it until we get
All
there.
right.
Jeez,
Okay.
Louise.
Well, I'm just giving that little hint that people can look forward to you being disappointed.
Wow. You just blow the load right at the beginning of the show.
It makes people stick around.
All right.
All
right. Anyway, Marcus.
Yes.
I know this past weekend
Yes.
was your anniversary.
It was my 5th wedding anniversary.
It was Cinco de Mayo.
It was Cinco de Mayo.
And it was May 4th.
It was.
Be with you.
It's a lot of holidays all wrapped into one.
A lot of things happened this weekend.
Yes.
So how was your anniversary?
It was great. Claire and I, one part of it wasn't great, but everything else was great. We just hung out. We just agreed to disconnect from the world for a couple days and just spend the weekend together. Like, we didn't go anywhere. We didn't do anything. We just hung out, just the two of us, which was nice.
Magical.
Yeah. We watched Backlash on Saturday. Went out to dinner on Saturday night. The food did not sit well with Claire, unfortunately.
Where'd you go? Do you want to say?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to say.
What does it rhyme with?
It rhymes with yokel. The yokel.
Okay, I like that. All right, let's stick with that. Yokel.
Yes. I left them a bad review on Google. But anyways, so yeah. Besides that, we celebrated Cinco de Mayo yesterday. We got Torito from Longmeadow delivered to the house, and that was delicious. I had fajitas.
Wait, what's the name of this place?
Torito.
Where's that?
Longmeadow. East Longmeadow.
East Longmeadow.
Yes.
Because I was going to say, I don't think it's a place.
Whatever. It's all one town.
It's not one town.
So stupid. It's like Hazardville could freaking.
Where do you live? Springfield or West Springfield?
East Springfield. Thank you very much.
See, there you go. It's all one town.
It is.
But
I live in the East Springfield section.
But they're different
Yes.
parcels.
I don't know. I never lived there until recently.
All right. Anyway, so.
But yes, it's a great place.
Yeah,
it's a
check
nice
it out.
Mexican place. But yeah, besides that, did some Lego, as you can see on the table. I brought one of the sets I built in. The other one's at home.
Very
this
cool.
Is the boarding of Yavin 4.
Mm-hmm.
No, Tantive 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have the, it's not a diorama, but it's close to the diorama type.
Well, it looks
It's a little different. Dioramas have like the black base. This does not have the black base, so it's not technically a diorama. But yeah, so one of the ones I've been looking at for a while now. And it's really cool because it has like a sliding door where it has like a regular door and then it slides and then it's like exploded like the beginning of the movie. So that's pretty neat. Ooh, look at that. Fancy. We have sky cams on this side. So you have the fancy cameras on this side of the set. But yeah, so did that yesterday. Also did the Dozen Roses.
Yes.
Which I'd got Claire.
Pretty cool.
Which Rocky commented how it was a sneaky move on my part to buy a Lego set to give to her to then I have to build. I mean, it's a gift for both of us. So yeah, to add to her botanical collection that she has.
Yeah.
Of all the flower sets. But yeah, so that's what I did yesterday. Just built Lego and then played Fallout 4 for a little while, Been playing that sporadically as I can when I have time.
Yeah.
I made it to Diamond City.
Wow. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
I like Diamond City.
Yeah.
That was
I didn't get much into it. I just met like the first lady there, Piper.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I think she could become a companion.
yes, she automatically did as soon as I talked to her a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so might go ask her to. I don't know. I'm trying to now going to go look for the detective.
Yes, the ghoul.
Oh, is that what that is?
He's a ghoul, I believe.
Yeah. Which I think is also the rep for that sold you the Vault Tech spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyways, getting there, I found is difficult when you're not wearing a power suit. So.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
You
There's
definitely.
a lot of things you can run into in Boston.
Yes.
Very quickly.
Yes. You.
It's like Trinity Tower, and then you have.
Did you go to Boston Common?
I have not gotten there yet. I just got by the library.
There's one of those Death Claws at Boston Common,
Okay.
and Death Claw.
I got the one at the Freedom Museum of Freedom.
Okay, you saw Death Claw.
Yeah.
Now that's in the show. We saw a skeleton.
Yes.
The
Yes.
skull
Yes.
of
You
one.
know, it's intense.
Because they're gonna bring it in season 2. They
Yes.
have to.
Yes.
But Death Claw, man, those are
Yeah. They'll mess around.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. They will relentlessly come after you.
Yes. But yeah. So, I toyed with joining the Brotherhood. I did like the first part of it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this feels weird. I don't like it. So I jumped back out and reloaded from before I joined. So I just act like I didn't do it. I'm like, nope, nothing happened here.
You could join both. I mean,
It's just, I don't know.
joined the underground.
I kind of did it because I was like, oh,
The
you know,
Minutemen. I
Minutemen,
joined the
which is
Men-
the first one you
Yeah.
get. That's the, yeah.
I joined them.
Yeah. So that's the thing. And I got like going to the castle to get the break down the castle or get back here.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah. So that's the other one.
I think there's like crabs and stuff attack. You have to
Yeah.
hold them off.
Yeah.
It took me a while because you
Yeah.
got to really have enough life
Yeah.
in stem packs and whatever
Yeah.
because it is like a crazy little thing that happens there.
Yeah.
Man, you're bringing it all back.
Yeah.
Such a great game.
So trying to figure all that out. And then also like trying to like conserve resources and making sure like I have enough stem packs and then like
Yes.
accidentally think I dropped stem packs somewhere, like trying to do something. So then like
Make sure you
I
have
have to like
life.
rebuy all the things and
Yeah, it's management.
and
It's
then
so
like
funny
trying to
in the
level up the
show.
character and everything and do things and
Time management. It's such a it
Yeah.
is a management game. You
Yeah.
have to manage everything you have,
yeah.
or you're gonna screw yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Save often.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I quick save a lot, but it's just the
Yes,
thing
yes.
of just like. Then also my thing now is like I was saying last week, conserving when I use the power suit. So it's like I'll go explore without the power suit and
Yes.
find locations, then save those locations, so then I can go back, get the power suit, jump to that location, and then do something.
Yeah, because you need that power suit for like sewers and like harder things.
Yeah, I stay away from the sewers. I have a feeling I know what's in the sewers, so I try to stay away from those. Like the thing yesterday was, you can go check out the Turnpike Tunnel, and I was like, I'm not going to check out the Turnpike Tunnel because I know what's in there, and I don't want to go through that kind of a stress right now. So I'm going to stay above ground.
Good idea.
My mission is to stay above ground as much as humanly possible. I went in the sewer once, and it was just like all like creatures,
Right.
not ghouls.
Yeah.
But I can handle creatures. Ghouls, not so much.
It
Ghouls
gets-
freak me out.
If I remember correctly, the end game, you're gonna be in the sewer.
Yeah,
for the
well,
end game.
that's fine. But I mean,
Yeah,
by
yeah.
then I'll be
Yes.
okay with it. But
Yeah.
like I did the National Guard mission,
Yeah.
which is all ghouls.
Yep. Yeah.
And that was kind of depressing and sad at the same time.
Yeah. These missions are
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and then the sewer mutants. Those are the other ones by the satellite dishes.
Yep.
So that one was. I've gotten to this thing where I like feel. Not like I feel like, oh man, I'm not playing this game right, but I think maybe I'm playing it correct.
You are.
Like I go into the area and then I drag the people out of the area and then like pick them off one by one,
Yes.
as opposed to like trying to fight them all in their space.
Yeah. That's
So
what the game it allows you to do anything you want.
yeah,
I mean, if you can get
I
them
kind
to
of take that from
bottleneck
Far
out.
Cry. Yeah, like Far Cry,
Yeah.
like the synths when I did the subway tunnel, the subway
Right.
thing. The synths I did that, I learned that. And I'm like, I'm gonna start like bottlenecking these guys,
Yeah.
so I could just pack them off as they come around the corner.
Dude, it's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And did you figure out how to use?
I did figure out how to do the VATS.
Okay,
it's a
yeah,
button and
yeah.
everything. It's because it works sometimes, and sometimes it's like, you know.
It works when you're up against someone hard.
Yeah.
You can slow down time and really aim for something.
Yeah.
Little tiny dude, you don't want to waste it.
Yeah.
Because it uses resources.
Yeah,
right?
it uses your AP,
Yeah.
like your, yeah.
Yeah. But
So you had to like let your AP get back up to a level, then you can reuse it again.
right.
It's like
you want to use it when a death claw. You use it for a death claw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or super mutant.
Yes.
And I realized I found out the thing about thing popped up when as you're doing like the fast travel thing, like, oh, if there's like a skull next to the name of the creature, it's a higher level than you, and you probably can't defeat it, so you probably should run away.
Run
I'm
away.
Like, well, it'd be nice if you told me this at the beginning. And I'm like trying to defeat these things and getting like lambasted.
Always read the little clues during
Well, that was the
loading.
first time I saw it.
Yeah.
But it was like, this is like halfway through me playing. I'm like, oh, well, if I knew that earlier, I wouldn't have
I
been.
know. Welcome to Fallout.
I'm going to keep throwing bombs at it and waste all my resources on this thing that's not going to get anything. It's not going to do anything to it.
It's a learning curve, my friend. I did the
Yeah.
same thing. I didn't learn half the stuff until 10 hours in? You're
Yeah.
just like, oh my God, I could do this, I could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you never played one,
Yeah.
it's all new.
Yeah.
I would recommend Googling YouTube, IGN. Probably
Yeah.
has a lot of good.
Well, I've tried not to because then it's like I feel like it's just going to give me all the answers, and I want to like figure things out
Right.
a little bit, but
Yeah,
not
yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
I like finding things and coming across things, and be like, ooh, that's cool. I'll do this little thing and then move on.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But yeah, it's a fun game. I enjoy it.
That's good.
I feel like I need more time to play it than I'm giving it, but
It's a long game.
I find myself like driving to work this morning and like in the car by myself and just like scheming and planning things. Like, if I were to get bottle caps from this guy, I could probably do this. And if I go get my power armor and launch from this position, I can get to where I need to get to without having to go through this. Or if I go down this street as opposed to that street, I won't encounter this guy, but I might be able to get by the dog. I can run away from the dog quicker than I can run away from the guys. So I can probably
you're
do
sucked
that.
in when you're thinking
Yeah.
about outside
Yeah.
the game, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a sign of a good game.
Yeah.
It happens to me all the time when I get
Yeah,
sucked into
it's the first game I've been back into besides a sports game where it's like an actual like game.
Yeah.
So
When I was playing Cyberpunk, I played that for 5 months, and when I'm not playing, I was like,
yeah,
oh, I could do that. Or I'm gonna look that up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like how this is like actually is like a mission driven game. I like those games. I don't like the ones where you just like do whatever you want and wander
Right.
and find.
But Fallout,
I like-
you could.
You can.
You can.
But also you need to like do things.
Yeah. There's things to be done.
Yeah.
Because it gets boring. We just aimlessly walk around.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Marcus?
That was about it.
I got a few things.
That was about it. Yeah, it was a pretty.
Sounds like a good weekend.
We only did a show like 4 days ago, so we really didn't have
We
a
did
lot
on
to cover.
Thursday. I
We didn't have a
know.
lot to cover. We didn't really do a lot.
So,
Oh, you know what I did watch?
what?
Sorry, I just thought about this. I watched this last night. The Contestant on Hulu about the Japanese game show
No.
where it's on Hulu. It's really interesting, but it's also very creepy and strange.
Is it like a docuseries?
Wasn't it a guy who like
Yes.
did all those like game show things?
No, it's
or something?
well, kind of like that,
I
but
thought
it's
it wasn't. I thought it was just a guy who did it.
it's like
It wasn't.
if you remember the movie Real Genius.
Is it scripted?
No,
No.
it's a documentary.
Okay, that's what I need to know.
You remember the movie Real Genius?
Yes. of
Remember
course.
Laszlo,
Yeah.
who he filled out all the postcards and won all the prizes?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody took that idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he took it from here, but that's where I'm like, oh, that's the Laszlo story.
Mm-hmm.
So they took this idea and they called it the Game of Prizes or something like that. And they picked a random person. They had all these random people audition.
Mm-hmm.
And then they picked a guy out of a lottery. Never signed the contract, never did anything. They took the guy right from winning this lottery, took him and put him in a room, had him stripped down naked, and left him there. And he had to win $1 million worth of prizes by filling out postcards from magazine ads. In Japan, they have like magazine sweepstakes. Excuse
Yeah,
me.
we have that too.
Yeah,
I know what you're
but
talking
like those things, and the guy had to win $1 million worth of prizes to win the game.
about. What?
And they just left him in this room. And they never told him what it was about. Never told him it was going to be a TV show. Never told him anything. Like he had no idea. He was just literally just like taken from this room to this other room, blindfolded, headphones on, had no idea what was going on. We're put in this room, and the producer just says to him, strip. and then he's like left in the room,
And then what?
and that's it. And then they have this other. It's a show in Japan that they had like different like games that they'd put people in.
Yeah.
But this one, they didn't tell him it was a game. He had no idea. And the producer says to him, "This isn't gonna be a broadcast. We're just doing an experiment."
It sounds like an experiment.
Yeah.
That
So it was
was-
literally, they left the guy in there for almost 11 months. He was in this room by himself,
That's torture.
filling out postcards and trying to win enough prizes to survive. He didn't get no food.
Well,
He had no clothes.
You're gonna die. How does he?
They fed him like until he won prizes, started winning prizes. They fed him crackers sparingly to keep him alive, and he had water.
Jeez.
He was like in an actual apartment. It was an unfurnished apartment. Had a table, a phone, a radio, and postcards. But the thing was that the producer's idea was that this person would fill out the postcards or do radio contests to win prizes. But he never touched the radio, never touches the phone because he doesn't know what the rules are.
Right. Yeah.
So he gets to the $1,000,000 and then he thinks he won or the thing is over. So then the guy's like, "Okay, congratulations, you got to $1,000,000 yen." He takes him, blindfolds him again, puts him in a suit, blindfolds him, puts him in a car. The guy falls asleep in the car, and they like make a big thing about it, like, "Oh!" And the whole time they're taking this 24 hours of footage every day, and they're breaking it down to 8 hours worth of footage, and then they're knocking it down to like 6-minute videos that they played on this show that was the daily show in Japan.
Sounds horrible.
So every day, all of Japan is watching this show of this guy.
It's like the Truman Show.
Yeah, this is the year the Truman Show movie came out, so it hadn't even come out yet.
Yeah.
But this is going on, and everyone's thinking he's having a grand time. Everyone thinks it's an awesome thing, and they show like the whole thing. It's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah,
It's very interesting.
So it's
though.
called The Contestant.
The Contestant. It's on Hulu.
I'll have to check it
it's
out.
based on a guy here. I have it here. It started in 1998.
Yeah, his name's Nasubi.
Yeah.
Whose name is
Wow.
whose names translate to eggplant, and so he's naked. So at first they started putting like a blue dot and a black dot on him to cover up his genitals,
Yeah.
but instead, because he has a long face,
Yeah.
they decided since his name is eggplant, translates to eggplant, that they started using an eggplant picture, like a graphic,
Yeah,
as
that's where they're
his
saying that
genitals,
came
and that's where the eggplant emoji comes from.
Really?
Yeah,
from. So
Dude,
he
this is
can leave
weird.
at any time.
he doesn't know this though. The
No,
door's
no.
unlocked.
Yeah.
He's
Mark, it says here he could have left at any time,
yes.
but for some reason, through fierce determination to complete his mission, he stayed. So he
That's
could have
incorrect.
left.
That's
He-
incorrect though.
No, this is from Hulu.
I know. It says that in the thing, but in the documentary, he says he could have escaped, but it was so mentally taxing on him that he thought if he left, something worse would happen.
Right.
So he knew that he was safe inside the room,
Mm-hmm.
so he stayed.
Mm.
So it was like a Copenhagen effect.
It's a mind game.
Yeah, so he
No,
was like,
what is that called?
Stockholm
It's
Syndrome?
Stockholm
Yeah, Stockholm
syndrome.
syndrome,
Yeah,
yeah.
Stockholm syndrome. But yeah, so it was like that kind of thing where he was like, the what's better
Yeah.
here than where it could be somewhere else.
Right.
But then it gets crazier as it goes on. Like
But,
more things
It
happen.
says here he
God.
had no clue.
He had no
was
clue.
being broadcast over.
He had never
15
signed a
million people.
contract to be on TV.
So he could sue.
But they didn't, like in Japan, they don't have that stuff.
Yeah,
So they like had no
My
like,
God.
it's like this whole
This is
thing.
crazy.
And then like it ends in the weirdest way.
All right, don't ruin it.
It's, like,
I
crazy.
will watch this documentary.
It's if you're like a television guy like we are,
Yes.
it's very interesting to see.
Yes,
like then
I
and
wanna
they interviewed the
see this.
producer of the show, and the guy is so weird and so twisted
well, it sounds
that he
like
thinks
it.
he's like Steven Spielberg.
But it almost.
But he's
it's
producing
very,
like weird TV shows in Japan. But the guy like is
It's very Truman Show.
That's
it's
what I
very,
said.
Like,
Yeah.
he thinks he's the greatest person ever, from what I'm reading.
yeah, he is very
that
much
he
like
did this experiment.
it. Literally is like this is where the movie came from.
Yeah.
Because it's like he's very much the Ed Harris character, where he thinks that he's like
Right.
doing this grand thing, and it's
Yeah, he's a big
you know
genius.
making this like
Yeah.
brilliant idea that he came up with,
Yeah.
and he's like nurturing this guy and like helping, like he's gonna like make sure he's a
Jeez.
star and stuff.
His original task was to fill out the contest coupons.
Yes,
In order to win what he needed to survive,
yes,
plus reaching the goal of
of
1
$1 million
million
yen. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Then after that, it doesn't even end there.
All
Like
right,
stuff happens after that.
Don't tell me
which is
anymore.
even more
Don't tell me
ridiculous.
anymore. I gotta watch this.
Yeah.
I'll watch this.
Yeah.
How long is it? How many episodes?
It's just one. It's a one
It's
and
a
a half,
movie.
hour and a half
Oh,
documentary.
Nice. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
One and done.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
All right.
crazy.
All right. I will. I'm gonna make a note.
Yeah.
Watch The Contestant.
Yes. It'd definitely be something Allison would probably
She
enjoy
probably
too,
would.
because it's very like, what is going on kind of thing.
Well,
But it's all subtitled, so that's the other thing.
that's fine.
It's not in English or anything.
Well,
Well, it does say that Fred Armisen and some other people.
Fred
did some
Armisen, they
voiceovers.
do like a lot of the show that it's on
mm-hmm.
has like a lot of like, because like Japanese TV is, they have a lot of narration stuff.
yeah.
So Fred Armisen does do the narration in English
Oh, okay.
for all the TV show stuff.
Okay.
Because they like the guy like wrote a diary, like they gave him a diary to write in,
Mm-hmm.
and it ended up like he ended up writing 4 diaries while he was. In total, he wrote like 5 diaries, 5 full diaries,
Yeah.
and they all became bestsellers in Japan. His diaries, but he didn't have any of the like money from it because they didn't tell him what was going on, so he had
Right,
no
right.
idea. So he literally like released all of his diaries,
Yeah.
and like they were like bestsellers and made millions and millions of dollars, and he never saw a penny of it.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's the main problem with a
He's
lot
a
of
criminal.
Yeah.
He's
the
a criminal.
Japanese. The problem with a lot
Yeah.
of Japanese game shows
Yeah,
is the people who are on it don't make any profit off of it. It's only the shows that and the
Yeah.
producers that make the money.
they're
Right.
talking
It's
about
they're
like the
winning all
reason why
these
this all.
prizes and stuff, but they're not making like. But the shows are sponsored and the guys are making
Yeah.
millions.
And like the only reason why this all started is because the producer was being told or was reading like the reviews of his other shows, and they were saying that they were just travel shows, because he would like have people do these crazy travel challenges. Like he would start in Japan, but then you would be given like $100 and you'd have to travel to India on $100
$100
and have to figure out a way to get
Kind of
like
the bigger,
just
Big
an example. I'm not
Brother
saying
style.
that's what it was,
yeah,
but
yeah,
like
Amazing Race style.
you have to
Yeah.
like find your way across to India, and
I
if you make it
gotcha.
to India, then you win the grand prize.
Right.
Or like the other one was like they were talking about like the reason why this guy auditioned, Nasubi auditioned, was he was thinking that the rumor was that it was going to be like travel across Africa,
Oh.
and if you make it across, you win a prize. And he was like an aspiring comedian actor, so he auditioned thinking that like was trying to get himself
You'll
known.
get famous. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like a whole thing. It's really
It sounds like
like
what
if
Squid
from an
Game
outsider
got
person,
their
like an
premise
outsider
from.
person that doesn't like live in that culture or know how those shows work, it is really like, what is going on? Like, how are people thinking this is?
Squid Game.
It's very twisted though.
It's like-
It like very much like twists the narrative,
Yeah.
the show, to like make it look like he's having a grand time
Mm-hmm.
and he's winning all these prizes and how
Right.
great is this?
Yeah.
But this whole time the guy has no idea what's going on. Doesn't have any clue that he's being like, he knows he's being filmed because they literally just put one camcorder in the room with him.
Yeah.
And they like talk about how they had a PA, or the PAs would have to go in before he would wake up to press record on the camcorder. They had to like sneak in so he never saw anybody because they weren't allowed to engage with him. So he doesn't talk to anybody
Dude,
for
I-
Yeah,
months
'cause
on
it's
end.
also, it's also 1998, so they
Yeah.
have like none of the technology or
Right.
anything to do
Yeah.
any like
Yeah, yeah.
remote stuff. So
Yeah,
it's all in camera.
I would go
Yeah.
insane.
yeah, he does.
All right. Don't
And
tell
they talk
me
about
anymore.
it,
Don't
and
tell
it's
me
really
anymore.
it's really interesting
All right,
to
I'm
see
gonna-
how it works.
I'm gonna watch this.
It's really it literally, they talk about how it's the birth of like reality television.
I believe it. It sounds like it.
But it shows like how bad reality television could do.
Wow, there's a lot of bad
Yeah,
stuff out
but
there.
it's like no one knew because
right.
the networks and everyone there just kind of acted like he was the great thing that he was doing, and look at
Yeah.
how, let's be happy for him, and like all the time
Money
the audiences
talks. The
and all the
ratings
time like
talk.
the audience is laughing at all the things
Right.
this guy's going through,
And
and he's like literally trying to survive on rice.
Mm.
And he has no cooking utensils, so he's like trying to use like cartons of other things that he'd won to like make rice.
jeez.
It's so weird, and he's like using like straws as chopsticks, and he's like the whole time he's naked, like he never wins clothes, so he just walks around with a pillow on in front of him to try to like be modest and
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
All right. Well, I will watch. Don't tell me anymore.
Yeah,
Oh my lord.
yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of subtitles, Mark, Allison and me, we jumped into Shogun.
Oh man.
First episode was really phenomenal.
Yes.
That first episode was like a movie.
Yeah.
We are 3 episodes in.
Ooh, you're about to get into the good parts.
I say, man, like just coming off of Fallout,
Yeah.
which was like top notch this
Yeah.
year. This is this is like top notch television.
It's
But
top
this is,
notch, a
like,
different level.
It is.
Yeah.
The way it's filmed is unbelievable, like
Yeah.
movie quality.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, the acting's superb. Like it's very dense and
Yeah.
lore, very dense in what's happening. There's so many players. It
Yeah.
reminds me a little bit of like
Game of Thrones,
that
very
first
Game of
season.
Thrones-esque.
You're trying to learn all their factions.
Yes.
But yeah.
You definitely could see like this could be an influence to Game of Thrones.
Probably
Like the
could
story
have been,
would have
yeah.
been one of the influences to
Yeah.
make Game of Thrones. Because it's very similar, like you were saying, like factions and
Different things
families
happening.
and squabbling and spies and
It's good.
yeah,
We're through. It's funny. I showed Allison the trailer. And
awkward like sex stuff and it gets
we're
weird.
only in episode 3. I haven't seen any awkward sex stuff.
Well, just wait.
So we watched the trailer, and Allison's like, that trailer. She's like,
The trailer wasn't good.
yeah. She goes, I don't know about this. I go, how about this? We watch the first episode together. If you don't like it, I'll watch it by myself. She's like, fine.
Did you get to the boiling yet?
The first episode was the
Yes,
boiling.
okay, good.
Okay. We watched the first
I
episode.
can't remember. It was so many.
We watched the first episode.
Yeah.
Allison's like, that trailer sucked.
Yeah, the trailer did not do well for the
she's
show.
she's like, because I would not have watched this show because of that
Yeah.
trailer. But like, yeah, she's into it too.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I get super tired late. We watched 2 episodes on Friday or Saturday. I don't know what day. And I have my hand like this on my head.
No, that's a sign 1 of Sleepy Brian.
I started doing this.
Oh yeah,
Allison would turn around.
yeah,
I just have my eyes closed.
yeah,
She goes, Brian.
yeah.
So I had to rewatch
third
episode
episode.
3.
Yes, this morning.
Yeah, no, yesterday afternoon.
The catch up.
Just I'm like, oh my god, I missed the whole thing. Like about the boats, they were gonna like they're
Yeah.
like they'll pass, but you have to stay behind.
Yeah,
Then they have those little kind of boat race
Yeah.
thing. And yeah, it's good,
yeah.
really good. So
It just gets better.
we got 10 episodes. I mean, we're
It's a
already-
lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot of stuff to
A lot
happen.
of stuff happens. Yeah, it's a good show.
It gets really crazy.
Yeah.
And some weird stuff happens.
Yeah, the acting is incredible.
And it's
Incredible
like
show.
a whole, like the end of it's just like, what is going on?
I will bet you, just based on these 3 episodes and what you've said and everybody else has said, I bet you it sweeps comes awards time.
Oh,
Emmys.
it'd be
It's
crazy
gonna-
if it didn't.
It's gonna win a lot of Emmys. I
Yeah.
feel like. Then,
Because the guy that's the English guy is amazing.
the Barbarian.
Yes.
Yes, he's really good.
Yeah. And the girl from the girl that's the interpreter is a girl from Godzilla show.
Oh, from Monarch.
Yeah, Monarch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never watched Monarch.
'Cause that's when I was like, when I first saw it, I'm like, why? How is she gonna like do this and then be on Monarch? Like, because I know they're doing a second season. They announced a second
Well,
season.
everything's filmed at
But
different times.
then I was like, oh, it's a one-off thing, so that
One and
makes
done.
sense.
Also, I got some bit of news. Doctor Who the new season
10th.
starts May 10th. Episode 1 and 2 are
Yes.
getting rave reviews.
Yes, it's a very much a Disney thing now. Is to drop 2 episodes at the beginning.
I'm fine with that.
That's fine with me.
Well, they're reviewing the first 2 episodes, but I'm not sure if we're getting the first 2 episodes.
You're getting the first 2, and then they're gonna do weekly after that.
Nice.
For when I saw the trailer for.
I'm very excited for that.
Yes.
Also, the Alkalites. What is
The
that?
Acolyte.
Acolytes. Is
June
it
4th.
Acolytes or
The
Acolyte?
Acolyte.
Acolyte.
Just one.
We have trailer number 2
Yes.
dropped.
Yes.
June
June 4th.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't really move
And we're
the
getting 2
needle.
episodes there, too.
Yeah, we're getting 2 episodes. How many? Like 6 episodes? 8
I want to say it's
episodes?
6 to 8.
6 to
Somewhere
8.
around there.
I mean, it didn't move the needle for me. It was kind of like they gave us more of who's behind that red
I don't want them to
saber.
know. I don't want to know. They're doing a great job. It's very much in the way Andor did it, where they're just giving you enough information
Yeah.
to get you to watch the show.
Right.
I don't like. I like how they're doing it now, where they're not giving you everything, and
Well,
you're
I don't
like
want everything.
knowing all the different things. But sometimes they would do that and then give you all this stuff.
Yes.
Luckily, they're not doing like they do with Andor, where they're like doing hey, we're having a great time filming, because that's always a death nail for most things. Like, we're all having a great time, but the show sucks. So luckily that's not true, or hopefully it's not true.
Yeah.
But Andor it wasn't, so that's good. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, this show, I'm
8 episodes.
I'm
8
optimistic.
episodes.
Thank you,
Thank
Josh.
you.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I hope it's good. I want it to be good. I want to see what the reaction is. I'm sure we'll be talking about it on the show.
Because this is like in the New Republic, or is this in the Old Republic?
High Republic. This is 100 years before Episode 1.
So
Episode
Yoda could potentially be in it if they want to use him. Cause
Yes, it'd be young Yoda.
This is 150 years before Episode 1.
Yes. Which is when they said the last time they encountered Sith.
Now, there's
In
comics
Episode
out
1.
right now. The High Republic has books and comics.
Yes.
This is kind of in that world.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because in Episode 1 they mention that, which was re-released this past weekend and like did amazing, I guess. That the last time they encountered the Sith was hundreds of years ago.
Yes.
So this would be that time frame.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, it would make sense.
Yeah.
So we shall see. So that comes out like in a month, less than a
Yeah.
month now.
Yeah.
Or you said June 7th?
June 4th, I heard.
Oh, June 4th.
Remember
okay.
correctly.
I don't understand them. Put a show out on May 4th.
They put out
I think they've missed the boat every time.
no, I think they put out Tales of the Jedi this week.
Yeah, Tales of the Jedi came out.
But it was all Sith centric
Yeah.
this time around.
Mm.
Like they tell like the birth, like the story of Count Dooku, I think.
There's because it's about like there's an episode about the witches of Dathomir, which
Yes.
is where Dooku,
Dooku, and then the
and
other.
then there's a bunch of other like.
It was
the other-
animated, right?
Yeah, it's all animated. But then it's the other girl from I want to say one of the video games or
Is
something.
it, or is she the one from Rebels that was the bald one? I haven't watched them yet, so I didn't.
I don't remember.
I'd have to check.
But I remember she's a character from something. Maybe the Night Sister, not the Night Sister. The
Hold on.
the
I didn't watch any of them. I didn't even know what
Inquisitor.
happened. Oh, the Inquisitor? The sisters? You
No,
talking about the sisters?
no,
Well-
it's different.
There's a character, I'll look it up, but that was in Rebels or
One of
Clone
those
Wars.
Clone Wars.
She's bald and she carries 2 lightsabers.
Yes.
I can't remember her name, but
Yeah.
she comes back
Morgan?
in one of the games as well.
No.
Well, Morgan's on one.
No,
Morgan's one of them.
It's,
She does the. She's the Night Sisters. But
Anyway,
yeah, they're all Sith centric. They're very much leading into the Sith at this point.
okay. Yeah, I was looking it up.
Josh, turn your mic off. Sorry. I only say it because when I edited last week's show and he left it on for a long period of time, and all you hear is that whoosh of the air conditioning and everything in there, and all the machines in there.
Okay, so without all that stuff out of the way,
Yes.
Backlash happened this weekend.
Yes, it did. Well, before that,
What?
we had another trailer come out as well. The Boys trailer dropped. You have not seen it yet.
I watched the first trailer.
This one's better.
I don't want to see any more.
Oh my gosh.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Accolade is June 4th.
June 4th. Thank you.
And the Boys comes out in June.
The Boys comes out June 11th, I believe.
June 11th. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm all excited for the Boys.
Yes.
I'm all in. That show's
Yes.
proven
the
to
final
me.
season, I believe, right? Fourth season? Final
No,
season?
I think there's going to be another season.
Oh, okay.
I got to see. I know how the comic book ends, but they can go
Yeah.
a different direction.
That's true. They already have.
They already have.
But yeah, this is
In Gen V, they already stated they're not going to recast the guy who ended up passing away in real
Yeah.
life. And
June
obviously
13th.
June 13th.
June 13th. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Um,
I mean, his character wasn't like super important, unfortunately. I mean, not like the like anything against
but he was a
him,
good
but
character.
You can easily just like His character could not appear again. And it
But
wouldn't be
just
that
like
easy.
wrestling, Gen V is kind of like NXT because
Yes.
you're going to have some soups from that show that might be.
Might show up in The Boys.
Yeah. And I like Gen V a lot, so I'm hoping.
I watched it. It was all right. It wasn't great.
See, I'm opposite. I really liked it.
It was okay.
I
It
was
kind of
cautiously.
like was.
I don't know how I feel about spin-offs sometimes, but I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed the whole thing.
I mean, it didn't really move the story along at all. Really, it kind of just happened.
Well, it had their story, and it ties
very
in.
much-
It ties into what's going on in
Yes,
The Boys.
but it was very much a side story of a comic book,
yes. If
which
you
they
read-
kind of do in the real comic book,
If you read The Boys, there is like a whole side thing.
which they do in a couple of issues. here and
Huey
there.
goes with this other group of soups,
Yes.
and they're like, see, they're not going to go in this direction on the show because it'd be very un-PC.
Yes.
And I mean that not
Yes.
in a derogatory way. I'm just saying it was a different time.
Yes.
These are soups that are special needs soups.
Yes.
And Huey goes with them. And
Yes.
he kind of falls in love with them in a way because
Yes.
they're enduring, they're sweet people,
Yes.
right? And they're too naive.
Yes.
And he basically is there to help them because he gets pushed aside by
Yes.
Butcher. So in the comic that does happen, but I feel like Gen V is basically saying, well, we're not going to do that. We're not going to give you that side, but we're going to give you. They've already built this
Like
world.
college kids.
The college kids are coming up that want to be in the seven.
Yes.
And that is like
Yeah.
it's like NXT in wrestling.
Yes.
You want to be in the big leagues.
Yes.
This is where you start off.
Yes.
That's
Or any
how we
sport.
kind of see it.
Yes.
Yeah. Minor leagues. It's the minor
Yes.
leagues.
Yes.
Um,
But yeah, so it looks good.
Yeah.
It looks like it's gonna be amazing,
Oh.
which they all are, anyways. But
It'll-
so that's
yeah.
coming out. And then this month is just a crazy month for movies too. We got
Season 5 hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's pretty much written.
yeah,
You know, rumored that it's going to be
yeah.
Yeah.
confirmed.
yeah.
Furioso comes out at the end of the
Furiosa
month.
comes out at the end of the month.
I want to go.
We have Fall Guy is out now.
It's out, yeah.
I heard that's pretty good.
Yeah.
The AI movie, or no, not
AI
AI.
movie.
If movie.
Well, if it's a kids movie,
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna skip
it's
it.
Ryan Reynolds and those guys. That's
Yeah.
kind of funny. I'm assuming it's gonna be good.
I do want to see Fall Guys eventually, but Furioso, I'm hoping we can get a crew to go.
Yeah.
Um,
Claire wants to go. Claire's really into that.
yeah,
But
I want
Fall Guy, like we're gonna go see it over the weekend, because Claire at first was like, "Oh, why don't you go see it with Brian?" I'm like, "I don't know. It seems like a date movie. I don't know if that'd be a movie I'd want to see with Brian, because I'm not sure if it's a date movie or if it's like a romantic comedy or if it's more of an action thing.
I've
It's,
heard.
has-
it's romantic comedy.
It's a romantic comedy with like action in it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I heard the
Which
action's
is
really
fine,
good. Well, it's about
but-
stuntmen,
I know.
so I hope there's action.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like,
So
I was
why
like,
don't
that'd
you
be
guys
kind of
go?
strange if you and I went. So I was like, if I think me and you will go. So Claire and I
Yeah,
are probably gonna go see
it's
it.
a stuntman who's supposedly in love with a director,
Yes,
and
they used to
it-
date.
They
and now
used to date, and they're
getting back
up-
together.
they're at each other's throats.
Yeah, and now they're working on a movie together, and there's a whole thing that happens. But
The lead gets
Yeah.
kidnapped, and they
Yeah.
have to send the Fall Guy to go look
Yes.
for him, which
Yes.
is Ryan Gosling.
yes, which I was kind of, I will say this again, I was very disappointed that it was named the Fall Guy, and it's not the Lee Majors Fall Guy.
It is.
I know, but it's not like the
It
exact
is.
same thing.
It's of course it's not, but it
But
is.
it has basically the same
It's
story.
the base.
Yeah.
It's the premise of the
Yes.
Fall Guy show.
Yes.
Correct. Which
Jesus.
I love that show, growing.
It was a great show.
Yes, the Fall
Great
Guy.
theme song.
Yes, it
Lee
was a great
Majors.
theme song.
If they don't play that in the credits somewhere, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
Yes, that was a great. And I always remember the opening credits.
And he
And
had
had him
the
hanging from the
Bronco,
helicopter
had
and
the
everything.
Bronco with the big
Yes.
eagle on the front of it.
Oh
Oh,
my God,
good stuff.
It was a great show.
Remember having that Hot Wheels? I destroyed that thing from crashing it so many times.
Yeah, I wish. I bet
Fall
you that
Guy.
show's not streaming anywhere.
It's probably streaming somewhere. Josh will find it and tell us.
Josh, tell us if the Fall Guys streaming. Something.
It's probably streaming on something. I want to say probably like something weird like
It's gonna be
Paramount
on-
Plus
No,
or
it's gonna be on Pluto.
MGM Plus or something.
It's gonna be on Crackle.
Crackle. It's on Tubi.
It's on Tubi.
Everything's on
I like
Tubi.
Tubi. I like Pluto TV.
Yeah.
Josh, before Mark gets into this, I feel like you're going to interrupt us. So you're going to
Yes.
tell us?
Before we get in the Backlash stuff, let us know.
What,
Fall Guy,
tell-
I'm looking.
streaming, not streaming. Just type in the Fall Guy. Streaming where?
who can win this? I'm going to Google it too. Fall Guy.
Amazon Prime.
Is
Amazon
it
Prime.
free?
But is it
or you have to
free that
pay?
you
No,
have
it's
to pay
a
for it?
dollar. It's like
Yeah,
$2 an
see.
episode.
Gets you right in the wallet. What's the point of you, Amazon Prime? What's the point in you? All right, let's move on to Backlash. Before we get into the results, like, this is my first Backlash I've ever watched. I really enjoyed it. I texted you, I thought the audience was amazing. I felt like they were part of the show. The chanting was amazing. It felt like a soccer game. That's kind of really reminiscent of watching a soccer game. All the chanting. My favorite chanting were the FUs and
Yes.
the AHs. I'm not going to
Yes.
say these words because we're on public access.
Or
But-
just on television alone.
But that was awesome. Now, what happened? This is going to lead into something interesting.
Okay.
Saturday morning.
You always warn that this is something really interesting is going to happen.
Saturday morning.
And it usually never does.
No, you're going to like this.
Okay.
Saturday morning, I go
Yes.
on the old Hulu,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like, I got to watch SmackDown.
Yes.
SmackDown's not available yet.
No.
And then I click on other things you will like
Yes.
because, I'm going hardcore into wrestling right
Yes.
now. And I see Vice has done Dark Side of the Ring.
Yes.
Which I have watched Dark Side of the 90s, Dark
Yes,
Side
yes,
of
yes.
2000s.
There's a lot of seasons of this.
So I go.
Many seasons.
I go into that.
It's very deep and dark.
I find the one episode that piqued my interest. Doink the Clown.
Oh. Bad
Wow.
One. It's a bad one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I tell Allison, I go, listen, I know you don't really care about
Yes.
wrestling, but they have Dark Side of the Ring.
Yes.
I go, and I told her the story of Doink the Clown, and she was like, what?
There's a lot of them are really, really
and,
bad.
And I go, some of these you might be interested in. I go,
Yeah,
"Is it
the Chris
one-"
Benoit one is a rough one.
Yeah.
Dark sides are a thing. Like even
Marty Jannetty one's
like
rough.
big wrestling people are like, this is really
Yeah.
intense.
The Plane Ride from Hell.
Now, hold
Ruined
on.
some careers, the Plane Ride from Hell episode.
Hold on. I watched Doink the Clown,
Yes.
and I'm planning on watching more.
Yes.
Yeah,
There's the
Doink-
Macho Man one.
Don't tell me. Doink the Clown. I'm watching it, and a guy's face comes on camera,
Yeah.
and he starts talking.
Yeah.
Don't recognize who it is.
Yeah.
He looks very old.
Yeah.
The little lower third shows up. Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
I almost fell out of my seat.
Yeah. That's the interesting part.
Dude, I was like, that's. And then they cut the old file footage. And
Yeah.
of course, as a kid, Hacksaw Jim Duggan was the coolest guy.
Yeah.
He got the
2x4,
2x4,
the American flag.
and he does the tongue thing.
Yeah.
Now, he was like the Robin Williams of WWE. He was just wacky.
Yeah.
Wacky. Everybody loved him.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody hated him.
Yeah.
But wow. And then learning about Doink the Clown's personal history.
Now there's multiple Dark Doink the Clowns.
There was 2, then there was 3 because basically,
The guy couldn't handle.
they were like, listen, anybody can be Doink the Clown.
Yes.
And he.
There's been 5 seasons of Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I got more to watch. Wow, is all I got to say.
Yes.
Really cool stuff. Interesting stuff.
So, just really quickly, if we're diving into this, we'll go through really quickly. The Match Made in Heaven, that's the Macho Man, Randy Savage, Elizabeth story, which is very depressing. The Montreal Screwjob, that's the one with Bret the Hitman Hart, and the whole story behind that with Shawn Michaels. That one's very interesting. Not really depressing, more just interesting.
Okay.
The Killing of Bruiser Brody, that's a dark, because that actually happens like a thing. The Last of Von Erichs, that's basically where they decided to, off of this episode, is the launch of making the movie, because this episode was so interesting and people were so into it. And it was
Really?
like crazy, the stories.
Yeah.
The Mysterious Death of Gorgeous Gino, that's a weird one. The Fabulous Moolah episode, that's the one that that's the episode that basically ended the WrestleMania match that they were going to do.
Really?
Honoring Fabulous Moolah, because it talks about how she used to abuse students and stuff and
Oh my god.
different things and all the different weird things that used to happen there.
Yeah.
So that one's really weird. Then they do a 2-part to start season 2 of the Benoit story. That one was rough. I
Yep.
remember watching that. That was
Benoit.
a tough one.
Benoit
The New
balls.
Jack one, he's an ECW wrestler.
Yeah.
He was an actual convicted murderer who was a wrestler. And a whole bunch of stuff. Brawl for All, that was a very interesting
Pretty
one.
sure he was a gang member.
He was a gang member,
Yeah.
yes. But
Yeah.
there was other stuff in there too.
Yeah.
But Brawl for All, that's a very interesting one because it's all about in the 90s. You remember when they did the boxing thing and how
Yeah.
none of the guys are actually trained boxers.
Right. I do remember.
And how that ruined so many guys' careers and everything. They do an episode about Jimmy Snuka. A story about Dino Bravo.
It's a lot of wrestlers I remember as a kid.
Slap Heard Around the World. That was a weird one. The Last Ride of the Road Warriors, which is very depressing. The story about how Hawk and his whole downfall and everything.
A lot of these guys had a lot of issues.
The Final Days of Owen Hart. That was a rough one.
Times were different.
It actually talks about like the whole thing leading up to him falling from the ceiling.
Dude,
and
I
everything.
remember that night.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I was working at Kiwi Toys.
Yeah. Then season 3 opens up with this 2-part Brian Pillman story, which is another tough one. The Nick Cage episode was very strange. It's not strange. It's more just like weird. Nick Cage is the king of death matches.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically like every match he has is glass, knives, like explosives, barbed wire, ring ropes, the whole 9 yards. And talks about how like that whole like Japanese like culture and how they do those are nuts. The Collision in Korea, which was done I think in North Korea. I think it was a big wrestling event held in like North Korea or South Korea like early on.
Yeah, that was North Korea.
Yeah, North Korea. That was a really weird one.
They actually had wrestlers actually went to it.
Yeah.
Because it was around when they were trying to
like normalize North Korea.
The NBA even did a thing with Rodman and North Korea.
Yeah.
Then everyone realized, no,
Well, this is
we need
even
to get out of
before
here.
that though. This is like in the I want to say like 80s, like 80s, early 90s. The Ultimate Warrior episode was really weird.
I gotta watch that one.
The Grizzly Smith one was weird. Dynamite Kid one was
So you've seen all these.
I've watched a lot. I haven't watched a lot of the newer ones.
Mm-hmm.
I skip over some of them. I don't know, like the people I don't really care about. Unfortunately, the Steroid Trials episode, that was a really good one. Last season was good. The Chris and Tammy, that was Sunny from WWE in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And Chris Candido, like their whole story, it's really trippy. How like they got like really into it was bad.
Another one, Brian, that you might like is the A&E like biography ones.
Yeah, they
Yes.
do those too.
Those are really cool. And then
Yeah.
They do one on Junkyard Dog. That was a kind of
that was
depressing.
really bad.
Bam Bam Bigelow's was depressing.
Oh my God, Bam Bam.
Then they just started a new season recently.
Yes. Because Joint Decline was on season 5.
Yes.
Or the
They
newest
started off
season.
with Earthquake, his story.
Yeah, I saw that. I watched
Buff
it.
Bagwell's was the next one. I haven't watched any of this season yet. The Chris Colt one, Welcome to My Nightmare. That one I heard that one was depressing. Sensational Sherry's episode just was last.
Scary Sherry.
Yeah. Enter Sandman. And then the last one they just put out, Black Saturday, The Rise of Vince, which is talking about how Vince like took over WWE, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot to dig in.
Yeah.
This
There's
is
a lot
good
of them.
stuff.
There's a Bruce Bear Beefcake episode.
Yeah, I'm going to watch all the wrestlers I know. But Joint Decline, I was like, I'm going to watch this.
It might have been the Chris Colt one, Welcome to My Nightmare. I'm not sure. But there was a lot of them. It's
crazy stuff, man.
It's a deep, deep pile. It's all like Chris Jericho produces all of these.
Really?
Like he was
Yeah.
part of the producers, and he narrates all of them and hosts all of
Is
them.
that his voice?
Yeah, it's
narrating?
Chris Jericho.
I
yeah.
wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It's
Yeah.
good. And then I was telling Allison, like, we went
The Chris Benoit one with Chris Jericho
Yeah.
being the like involved in it, it's very, very deep because he was like best friends with Chris Benoit.
I know the story.
Yeah,
Wasn't
and they
he
really
murdered?
No,
Was he murdered?
he had
Oh,
CTE,
his family.
and he murdered his family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Yeah, his
that.
wife and son.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can watch that one.
Yeah. But it's crazy how like they go into like the whole thing of how like no one knew what was going on. It's like WWE didn't like know what was happening. They thought he was murdered.
Yeah.
So they like do like a whole tribute episode about the guy, and then come to find out like a week later that like he did it. So it's like, oh, we just paid tribute to this guy, and like had like a whole like
They didn't know.
yeah, but it
That
was
sucks.
really and they go into like the whole thing and like the thought processes and how they had to like basically like erase this guy's like memory from the company basically because like no one had known what was going on.
I know.
And he literally
sucks,
just like
huh?
had conversations with people like the day before.
Right.
Like nothing would happen, nothing was going on, like everything was hunky dory and fine. And in the background he's like slowly
going insane.
like losing it. Yeah.
my God.
Yeah,
Well,
it's crazy.
I will watch these when Allison's working. I will put these on because she will get, because this is the kind of stuff she watches.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
Yeah.
And oh my God.
No, like
yeah.
Claire yesterday was watching while I was doing Lego. Claire was watching, I don't know what I think it was called Caught or something. She'd found it on some random channel or something. She
Of
finds
course,
these random
the
things.
murder channels.
Yes. I don't know where she finds these things. But she's watching this documentary and it's all about the DC snipers.
Oh.
So she's watching it and she's like, I'm like doing Lego. We're actually building this Lego. And I'm like in the background, I'm hearing this in the next room over. I'm like, oh, is that about the DC snipers? She's like, what are you talking about? How do you know about this? I'm like, it's the DC snipers. It's a huge thing. It was like
lived through it.
2012. It wasn't that long ago.
I was at a Zuntalk
This is like a big thing. She's
every
like,
morning.
at this time, she was in California going to college.
Oh, so she wasn't here.
So she had no, like, it wasn't, it like, she's like, it was a big story, but it didn't reach over there.
They were moving up towards us.
Yeah,
It
because
was
they were
getting
going
scary.
north. So that's what I was like, it was a big thing around here. It was like a huge story. And then
Yeah.
the east. She's like, I don't remember this at all.
Well,
like, I don't remember
if you're
any
in
of this.
California, they're not going to be
Yeah.
covering it.
But I mean, I
Or
guess it was
talking.
covered, but she's like, I thought I heard, but I had no idea like this is a thing.
Wow.
But yeah, Yeah.
That was scary times.
Right.
Yeah.
If you want to cut those like sad, depressing things, you can do the other show where they find like pieces of memorabilia and
that's a
actually,
good one too.
I've seen the
everything's all
ads
happy.
for that.
Hidden Treasures.
Hidden
That's a good one.
Treasures. That was
That's a good
cool.
one.
I want to check that out.
Yeah.
Because
The A&E, they do.
Those
They used
other
to
ones are
do.
really depressing.
I
Yeah,
know,
they
I
do. Now they started doing Rivals this year.
Yeah,
Yes, I saw-
Rivals is another good one.
And they do the biography. That's another one.
Hmm.
Like did a biography of Roman Reigns recently. I'm like, he's like not retired. Like, why are we doing a biography of
think
Roman
Because
Reigns?
they're running out of people.
Didn't-
I was
No,
like,
but didn't
there's
it,
plenty
like,
of there's plenty of wrestlers we could do biographies on.
Right.
We're
I
like,
think
you know,
I think it was more focused on the family as well.
no, I know, but it was just
But
kind of
yeah,
like it was
it
like,
was
come
weird.
on, man.
Well, he's the tribal chief.
Yeah, whatever.
All right, we should. Okay,
Speaking of the tribal chief,
we should get to Backlash. So
Backlash.
this is how I end up watching. I watch Backlash, part of it Saturday night, the rest Sunday morning,
yes,
and then I watched Friday night show this morning.
yes,
Unfortunately, that's just how I watched it. But
you didn't really miss anything.
well, I did watch some lead ups, and I got a great 4-on-4 tag team,
Yes,
which was a great
Yeah.
match. But
you got to see your Tiffy time.
Tiffy time. That's what I was like. I got the Tiffy time.
You got Tiffy time times 2.
Yeah, that was that was actually a good match.
Dreaming about it and everything.
And then
What does Allison think about you dreaming about Tiffy time?
I didn't dream. I woke up.
You
with,
dream about Tiffy time. It's
no,
okay to admit it. It's all right.
All right.
Maybe she has a wardrobe malfunction in your dream. Who knows?
Oh my God. All right. Listen. Now I know
I
why.
told Claire about that. She's like,
I woke
That's
up.
hilarious.
I
She's
woke
like,
up with the word
she's
Tiffy
like-
time in my brain,
That's what I
but it
said.
wasn't. I wasn't having a
come
dream.
on.
That
We're
was
already
just
at an
hilarious.
hour.
All right,
It was
listen.
hilarious.
What I now I know what transpired with that street fight that happened in Backlash because
Yes.
there was a precursor.
What led to it?
What
yes.
led to it?
Yes.
So that was kind of cool. I got
Yeah.
some background because I was like, "What?
Why
is
are they this
going
angry at each
on?
other?
Oh my God!
Why are they so mad at each other?
Anyway, Backlash was awesome. I had a great time with it.
Yes. It happened in France.
Fantastic.
The fans were intense.
Loved it.
Dear God, they
I
were
loved
intense.
it. In SmackDown,
Brian texts me. He's like, "This is awesome. The fans are crazy." I'm
I
like,
love
it
it.
was crazy. It was cool for about the first 3 matches. Then it was like, okay, maybe dial it back a tiny bit. Like we don't have to like every time there's a 2
SmackDown
count.
was the
Well,
same
it-
way.
Well, I know,
SmackDown-
because it's the
main
same
thing
building.
of
Yeah.
They don't get anything like
That's
this.
what I did tell
So-
myself. They don't see it all the time like we do. I feel like
That's-
we're
yeah.
like, I don't want to say jaded, but like have seen enough where we're like, okay, we don't have to like every time there's a 2 count, we have to make a big event about it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
Mark, their enthusiasm is my enthusiasm in my
Yes,
head for wrestling.
exactly.
I
It,
was
it
like,
plays into
you
the
saw.
it plays into the newer fan base than it does the older fan base.
You
that's for
saw.
sure.
You saw what it is to be in my head for
Well, that's
wrestling.
good. That's good. I'm glad you're having a good time.
I am having a great time. All right.
Speaking of wrestling, tonight they're in Hartford at the XL Center
oh my
for Monday
God!
Night Raw.
The one you were saying you were gonna get us.
Somebody was supposed to look into that, and I never heard anything about it. So
I keep forgetting that's tonight. Oh,
I couldn't get anything.
Yeah.
Never got any info. So
well,
Yeah.
listen here. Let's make a pact. The next time they come to
the area.
the area, we just buy tickets.
It might be better to do a house show first, then do it full on.
What do you mean?
They do like the smaller shows, like do one of those first.
I just want to go to one. I don't
All right,
care. I
all
don't
right.
care. But
We'll work
like,
on it.
if they're coming around again, if it's
It also didn't work out
SmackDown
because I
or
got a
Raw,
show tonight, and there's too much going on here. I wouldn't have been able to go anyways.
right?
So.
But if we buy it as soon as we know,
Yeah.
then we have plenty of time
Yeah.
to take the day off.
Yeah.
'Cause I would love
Yeah.
to go.
And they usually let you know sometimes when this one happens.
Yeah.
They usually say, "Oh, we'll be back in the area for
Right.
SmackDown at Mohegan Sun or
Yeah.
something in Worcester."
Yeah, it's
or
usually
whatever."
Raw happens at XL Center. SmackDown's more of a
Fox,
Mohegan.
Mohegan. I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind going to that.
yeah,
It's a smaller place.
yeah.
All right.
All right, so Backlash happened on Saturday. First match that we had of the night was the tag team match that you were just talking about, the Randy Orton Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline match
Wow.
of Solo Sikoa and Tamatonga.
Okay. This match was off the rails.
Yes,
Street rules.
straight fight. Yes.
Street fight. And then at the end, who was the winner?
Tungaloa came
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Do we all get bonus points? Because I think we all said that
We all
someone
know.
was going to show
We
up.
didn't say who was going to show up.
No,
we
we
had
didn't
said
say
if
who.
you had picked this guy coming out, you would have just automatically let you win the whole thing because
Yeah, I don't think
no one even knew that
no
he
one
was.
knew it was going to be him. They
under
thought it was gonna be
contract.
one of the other brothers.
All I gotta say is, every show we're trying to find, there's more and more brothers.
Oh,
and
just
there's
if-
Tungalua,
there's
Tungasanga.
there's
yeah, there's a
Louis-
whole Brian. There's a whole family
Yes.
tree.
Yeah.
if you want, I'll send you the link later on. A website, a YouTube channel I watch called Wrestle Talk. One of the guys does a whole show explaining
Wrestle
the
Talk's
whole family tree
Of these guys?
of the bloodline. Everybody.
Because I feel like they're rebuilding the bloodline.
It's
here.
crazy. There's so
And
many
Brian-
guys that could possibly appear, and there's so many things that
Also,
could possibly
that
happen.
family basically ran their own promotion
Yes.
in Hawaii.
Well, Rock's
And-
Rock's grandma
but, like,
did. Yeah.
So there's that whole family. Then they also have the people they trained with
Yes.
as a whole separate family.
Yeah. It's
and
crazy.
they basically had power over WWF at the time
Yeah.
for their own events.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
this was,
crazy.
we all got this right. I
Yeah.
think we all predicted this
We all
was
picked
gonna
Bloodline. We all got it right.
happen. Yes.
So we all get a point
you
for that
you
one.
need a pen, Mark?
Nope. I got it all down already.
Oh, okay.
Next match. I'm not doing these orders of which they happen. I'm doing the orders of which we picked
Yes.
because it's too much.
That's okay.
Next up, we did the Women's Tag Team Championship. It was the Kabuki Warriors who came in as champions up against Team Terminator, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
Yes.
Team Terminator won, Bianca and Jade.
Yes.
So
Fantastic.
2 points to everybody because we all picked that as well.
And it was great to see SmackDown. There was a little beef going on with Bianca and Bailey. There's
Yes.
a little something.
Yeah, a little
happening.
something there. Oh,
Yeah.
little thing
Interesting
there.
where that's going to go.
Yeah. Next up, we picked 3 matches that didn't even happen, so we're not going to talk about those.
But that one of them was for a
One of them
tag
happened on
team.
Friday night,
Yes.
and it doesn't count because it didn't happen on the event.
But
So
Josh
stop
and
trying
me
to
did
the
get it
point.
right.
Yes, stop trying to get the point.
I'm not asking for the point. I'm just saying we got it right.
Yeah, whatever.
It's still weird that there was only a handful of matches.
There's
I'm
only
surprised.
5 matches on the whole card.
Yeah.
Not even a pre-show, just 5
No.
matches.
But they were good. They were all good matches.
I guess.
It was
This
It's
match,
good, but it's just 5.
killer,
Yeah.
no filler.
this next one was the WWE Women's Championship, which was kind of a botchy match.
Mm-hmm.
And even the women's tag team match, there were some weird occurrences where people who were supposedly legal weren't legal, and the whole thing.
Yes.
So this was the champion Bailey up against Naomi
Mm-hmm.
and Brian's favorite Tiffy Time,
Divvy time.
Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
Bailey took down the win.
We knew it. There was no way.
Everyone, we all picked it, so we
Yeah.
all got 2 points for that one.
You know what though? I'll say this: that match, those 3 were like the most very entertaining. Like they did some awesome moves.
It was definitely a
One
star-making
of-
match for Tiffany, that's for sure.
one of the best matches of the
Yeah.
night. Fantastic.
Next up, a match that no one thought was going to be good and ended up being good. Damian Priest as the champion in the World Heavyweight Championship against main event Jey Uso, who had probably the best entrance of any human being in the history of wrestling.
Man, I can't believe
They included the lights
Yes.
into the thing. And it was like
yes.
it literally, like they said it on commentary, like it felt like the building was moving because of the way the lights and everything.
and
So I'm assuming that's going to get incorporated into everything now.
And the
so
camera
tonight
was
will be interesting to
moving.
see if they actually like do the lights, and he gets the lights now.
Right,
Like they used
right.
to use the fireflies for the Wyatts. But now if they start using the lights for his thing and the lights move and everything and the whole building starts.
Now, I got this wrong. Because
You got this one wrong. You picked Jey Uso to win. He did not.
He
Damian
did not.
Priest won.
And this was...
So Josh and I got 2 points.
It
You
was
got
a great match.
No points.
That's fine. I'm saying Jey Uso deserves a belt because you look
He
at...
does, but I don't think it's the championship belt.
You look...
Intercontinental.
You look at what happens when he walks out there.
I think
He will explode.
he'd be a great intercontinental champion. He would not be a great world heavyweight champion.
No.
My opinion.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Wait. So, Intercontinental
It's Sami Zayn.
is Sami
now.
Zayn right now. So there's no
And they're
way.
pals, so they wouldn't
they're
have
not.
it. It would
So
have to be after Sami loses it to somebody else, and then that would happen.
as much as I like Sami Zayn, I think he's one of my favorites.
Yes.
Jey Uso is one of my favorites too. But
Yes.
if anybody deserves a belt right now, it's him.
Yes.
Just look at the way he commands. He walks out there. People love him.
Yeah.
I mean, the sportsmanship and just the fact that like he can just make the crowd go insane.
Lights up a room.
But I also don't
He
think
needs
they anticipated him being so over so fast already.
Well, because it's a great
That,
theme song.
You know,
He has a great package.
yes.
Yes.
Like packaging.
He's got everything. And
That's a big thing for wrestlers.
He's a very...
It doesn't in the WWE and in other companies. I've had this thought before. I don't know if I ever said it out loud, but it's like 80% talent and 20% packaging.
Of course.
If you could be a really good talent, but if your character's not good,
Yeah.
no one's gonna give two
No.
flying hoots.
Yeah.
Well, we've seen a bunch of guys that way.
There's
So,
a ton of them out there.
yeah.
But Jey Uso's got it all. I think he's a great wrestler. People love him. He's got a great entrance. There's just something about him.
He's hitting at the right point.
Yes,
Like everything
he
he's doing right
deserves
now
a
is
belt
hitting.
right now. He deserves.
I don't know
belt
if it's
right
something you should put a belt on, but at least ride the wave. Doesn't mean he has to have a belt. Sometimes guys don't need the belt. Just because you're very popular doesn't mean like John Cena not always had the belt.
now. No, I know.
But he was always very popular.
But the belt would
So you can-
would really
So
would be the icing
he's
on
at
the
that
cake.
point right now where he's making himself that he doesn't need to have the belt, but he's going to get to that point where he won't, like the belt won't make him, he'll make the belt.
Yeah, well,
And that's what they're like heading towards.
I know they're heading towards him getting the belt.
But right now, Damian Priest is doing a great job. I don't think like that story. There's a lot going on there.
Well,
Yes,
yeah,
has to
because
happen.
that's a whole thing as well with
Yeah,
them jumping on and
yeah.
him
There's a
not
whole thing
happy
there.
about it.
Let's not forget, Damian Priest didn't earn that belt. So this is why I thought
Well, he didn't have to because he had the Money in the Bank.
exactly.
So now he's earning it as the champion.
and that's why I was thinking Jey Uso could earn the belt.
Yeah,
But
well, it's too early.
he did have some help from his buddies.
He did, but still, it's too
Yeah.
early for them to take the belt right off him because it would just ruin the character if he did that. The last match we had was the undisputed WWE Universal Championship of Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles, and if you hadn't known who AJ Styles was, and you weren't a big fan of AJ Styles before this match, if you hadn't seen AJ Styles wrestle previous to WWE before this, like if you were just this new AJ from WB, this was old school AJ Styles. This was TNA. This was New Japan AJ Styles.
IGBW.
Like all these things. He pulled all the stops out. NWA,
yeah.
all the old stuff. Like this was like AJ Styles at his prime type character, like wrestling style.
He worked
he
up a
was
storm
crazy.
for this match.
Yeah. Like it was almost like I was watching it, I'm like, this would be one of those matches that like if he were to walk away tomorrow, that'd be the match to leave on. Like it was
Right,
that
right,
kind of
right.
thing. Because it was amazing. It just
was a great match.
reinforced why AJ Styles is one of my favorite wrestlers. Like the character sometimes I'm not a fan of, but him as a performer is amazing.
I also completely forgot that they were both leaders of the Bullet Club.
Yes, at different
And
stages.
didn't even
yeah.
think about that
Yes.
until like the press conference before.
Yeah, but this one we all got right as well because we all picked Cody.
Yeah.
'cause, I mean,
We all knew Cody
Come on.
was going to keep the belt.
so after Backlash, our total points between WrestleMania and Backlash, Brian has 19 points.
Mhm.
You're in third place.
Okay.
I have 20 points.
I'm right behind you.
And leading the pack right now with 22 points, producer Josh.
Wow. So this
Only
one,
3
I
points ahead
got
of
one.
Brian and 2 points ahead of me. So one match.
I got one match wrong.
Couldn't decide it.
Was
Yeah,
that
if you
a
had gotten the
two-pointer?
match, you would have.
Was
Yeah,
that
it was a 2-pointer. You would have been in
2-pointer.
second spot. You've been 1 point behind Josh.
Yeah, I went
That
with
one
my-
match.
I
You went with Jay. You
I
went with your
my
heart, not your brain.
I know.
happens.
I really thought they were going to give it to him.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, well.
you know,
I'm happy.
I mean,
I probably won't win them all, but I'm happy.
Yeah, we got the King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring tournament
May 25th.
event. But they're going to start doing matches tonight on Raw. They're going to start doing
Really already?
qualifying
Jeez.
matches. Well,
Now-
first round matches are tonight.
Well, now, okay.
It's
As
3
someone
weeks
who's
away.
never watched
It's 3
King
weeks
of the-
away.
when does King of Ring start? Because in the 80s.
It started in the like 80s.
Was there King
Wasn't
of
it
Rings?
part of like
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause
Stone Cold
right.
was a
Stone
winner.
Cold was one of and he fought Jake the Snake.
He fought Jake the Snake, and he
Oh,
goes, "That's where
God.
the Austin 316 came from." Because at that time,
All right.
Jake the Snake was a born again Christian, so he was like, "You could take your Bible and put it up your ass."
Well, because he was
You
always
know what,
doing
John?
the
You know what? John
he was doing the
John 316 might say so
Yeah.
and so, but Austin 316 says, "I just whipped your ass."
Yeah.
That's
It
a
was-
good
that was
impression.
It's the
That-
best.
that
It's my
whole
favorite
thing
line ever. It's
basically
the
gave-
best line of any wrestling, and it was all. And the crazy thing about that is, and I think they talk about it in the Dark Side of the Ring,
Yeah, yep.
Jake the Snake episode,
Yeah.
that was not scripted.
Right.
Austin just did that
But
on his
also,
own. He
I
just
don't
like
think-
randomly came to him and he's like, "I'm going with it,"
I
and he
don't
just
even
did
think
it.
Austin was supposed to win. It was supposed to be somebody else.
It initially
And
was
he got
supposed to be
into
somebody else,
trouble.
but someone else got hurt or something
Yeah.
happened. It might have been Shawn Michaels or something, or somebody, but something else happened and Stone Cold got put into the position.
Wow.
But
Now,
yeah.
what does
Honestly,
that
I
give
think it might have
them?
been Triple H.
At the time, it used to be. It might. Yes, it was supposed to be Triple H.
Yeah.
It was the
It was the click. It was the click
handshake. The handshake.
Stuff. Yeah.
Thing. At the time, they were doing house shows, and it was Kevin Nash and Scott Hall's last match in WWE before they went to WCW, and they were doing. They were the main event at a house show at MSG. They were doing a cage match. At the end of the match, whatever the finish was, whatever it was, the four of them, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, knowing that the other two were leaving, the four of them were best friends. They traveled everywhere together. Decided on their own to like do their Too Sweet, where the Too Sweet came from.
Yeah.
They did that. The four of them did that to each other in the ring. Unfortunately for Triple H, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall left the WCW.
Yeah.
Not him knowing anything. Shawn Michaels ended up getting hurt like a week or two later,
Oh,
so he was gone.
yeah.
So Triple H basically got punished for that happening because it was
Because
like
he was basically the last
breaking.
one standing.
Because he was like basically breaking kayfabe because they were bad guys at the time.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, you have to remember back then you didn't do that.
Like good guys,
Right.
bad guys
it was
didn't.
it was you.
Yes.
It was real.
Yeah, they didn't
You know?
like. You weren't allowed to like travel together. Like you could travel together, but they weren't supposed to like hang out together. They weren't supposed to go out
Yeah, you're not
together,
supposed to be seen outside.
seen
of the-
outside in public together.
Right.
They're not supposed to like acknowledge
kinda
each other
do-
in the ring.
They kind of do that now.
now they're it's a little bit less.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
back then it was like kayfabe. You don't break kayfabe. So if you're a good guy, you don't talk to a bad
Bad
guy.
guy.
Bad guys don't hang out with good guys. They actually had separate locker rooms. They weren't like in the same area together.
Wow.
So people couldn't like see them hanging out or talking to each other or laughing about stuff. So yeah, so when
Yeah,
they did
'cause if
that,
you
it
ever
was like
got caught
basically
in the
like tearing the
background,
wall
you're screwed.
down, and it's like, you know, showing that these guys actually were buddies.
Right.
So like people's like brains exploded.
Of
There's like
course.
there's a great YouTube video online of the guy like recording it from like way
Well,
up
I
in the
think
rafters,
I think that was also the other thing is
being like,
this is
"Oh my
back
god,
before
they're like
internet."
acknowledging each other."
Yeah, this is way back before internet and everything.
Yeah, no, it was like a guy
Right.
like
This
recording it on
video
like
got
his
out.
like, yeah,
You know, this
Yeah.
person took a video of the thing.
Yeah.
and it got out.
like on like
and
a palm
everyone saw it.
quarter and like released it.
And
like,
it's so
turned to a
funny
thing.
because it's like when people like are like, you know, it's like anything.
Yeah.
Like you go, Red Sox or Yankees, but you know
Yeah.
half these guys are all friends.
yeah, no, exactly.
You know what
but
I'm
it was
saying?
like this
But
is
the
like back then
fans
it was
want to have
yeah.
that rival.
Back then it was like they were still
rivalry.
trying to hold on to that.
Right.
But
yeah.
so Triple H was scheduled to win the King of the Ring tournament that year. Because of that, he was taken out of
Wow.
it completely, and Austin was thrown in to win. So
All because of that.
basically,
Now what?
that caused Austin to become Steve Austin and launch into superstardom.
Well, King of the Ring.
King of the Ring used to be.
what-
they would have these tournaments yearly, and
Yeah, I
you
know,
become
but-
King of the Ring, and the
right.
King of the Ring would basically get what Money in the Bank guy gets now. He would get a championship match against the
Cody.
champion.
So whoever wins
No,
this is...
not. I don't know if they're doing that now,
Okay, you don't...
but
What did they do
that's what they
last
used
year?
to do.
What happened last year? with
Last
King
year it was Xavier Woods won,
Yes, I saw the highlights.
and I think they just like you just get a crown and a scepter.
because they did like a highlight
and
package.
your character like becomes the king for a while. Like King Booker came from that, winning King of the Ring. Sheamus walked around with a crown for a while, and
Yeah.
like that was his character for a while.
Okay.
So
didn't know
it's
if it
basically like
gets you
turned
something.
into now of more of a way to boost up
Your
like
It's a title without a title.
Well, it's also a way to like bring up a talent that's kind of like languishing and kind of like give them a new start kind of thing. I don't know if they're gonna add in the thing where you get a title match. Like when they started doing the Queen of the Ring, Zelina Vega won it and she became the queen for a while and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
it's almost like a title.
it's like
you
a
can
gimmick.
throw.
It's like a new gimmick
Yeah,
you
can
get. You
throw
get like
it
a
around,
fresh
be like,
gimmick.
I'm King
Yeah.
of the Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last time the person who won the King of the Ring got a title shot was 2002.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I think
Alright.
now it's just like a
It's just
ceremonial
it's,
title
Got
kind of
it.
thing.
It's just
Yeah.
guys incorporated into their attire,
Into their
It's a thing
character.
to have to, you know.
Yeah,
it's like
like-
the Andre the Giant award.
Yeah.
The
It's
person
like
who
a
won the Andre the Giant
yeah.
is just that.
It's just a gimmick thing to kind of like make another pay-per-view.
Right. Exactly.
And it's a good place to do it in Saudi Arabia because it's like a throwaway. So
Yeah, I got King of the Ring this month, and next month I think we have the Castle.
Clash of the Castle,
Clash
Clash
of the
of the Castle,
Castle.
and then SummerSlam.
SummerSlam's
and
in
then,
August.
Yes.
Yes.
July.
Because they're not going to do. Do you think they'll do the
No, I think it's the
Saudi
beginning of
champion again?
August.
No. No.
So this is basically replacing the
no.
Saudi champ.
But Braun Strowman is the longest reigning champion of all time because he's never lost that
SummerSlam August 3rd.
Saudi Arabia championship that he won.
August 3rd is SummerSlam.
Okay.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Then it's Bash in Berlin after that,
Yeah.
later in August.
All right.
So
Well, I think we've covered everything, Mark.
yeah,
It was a good show.
yeah.
I mean, other than getting one wrong, I was pretty good. And if they actually had that,
No matter
tag
where we put
team
this monitor,
match,
you stare at it.
if they had put the tag team match on the,
You know how
the
TV
correct
works.
thing,
The void.
How do you do
the
this?
it's the
void!
monitor. It's the monitor.
I know
It
we gotta
distracts
turn
me.
the monitor off.
We don't need it. Or put the
For
monitor
you-
right behind.
Either way, you're gonna stare at it, no matter where we put it. We
No,
put it
I-
over there, you'd still
I've
stare
actually
at
been
it.
doing good all show. I just looked at it.
No,
briefly.
you've really been looking at the whole
No, I've
time.
been looking at
I've
you.
catch you
Mark,
a couple
Mark,
times.
if you look at it, there's a reason why I tried to put it behind his camera.
Yeah, but even still, he still looks off
But
to
if
the
he
side
if
of
it goes to center cam, he still stares over to it.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I bet you nobody knows. No. Okay.
If you watched last episode, you really notice because you did it the whole time.
Last episode was so bad.
I was editing the
That's
show
why
last
Freddie
week, and I'm
Going
like,
stopped staring into the
Good
void.
Lord, man! Look at the camera you're supposed to look at.
Full off.
It's like you're just like your camera's like here,
yeah.
and you're like just doing this the whole time,
okay.
staring right into a monitor.
Josh,
that doesn't
Did
have
I
any way
not
of seeing
do
you.
better? I did better this time.
No, you did.
I did.
That's
I
why
was
tried to
doing
make
my
sure the
part to
camera
look
was-
at you and not look at the monitor. I only looked at the monitor when Josh was there.
Yes.
That was it.
Yeah.
I did do better.
Yeah.
But before we go, I do want to. I have an announcement for the.
Oh,
podcast.
I have late breaking news too. So
Oh no.
I want to let everybody know that we are on a bunch of new platforms.
ooh, we are.
Um.
Well, before you get to that, my breaking news is really quick.
Yes.
I've gotten the call from Scott Pellin, our friend Scott.
Yeah.
His show August 30th at the American Legion.
Yeah.
June 30th. Yes.
Yeah. You said August.
Oh, did I? I meant June 30th. Yours truly will be working the door for that event,
Ooh.
and I will have a table as well.
Look at you.
So stay tuned for more information about what I'll be having at my booth.
That's exciting.
Expect a lot of Hot Wheels because I got a lot of Hot Wheels to get rid of.
There you go. See, all that stuff you got, you can
Yes.
sell.
So
Um,
back to Brian with his. We are on more platforms.
YouTube has a podcast thingy-mabobber now.
Okay.
So
Is that something I have to do differently than what I usually
no,
do?
no,
Okay.
no, no. So when I post it on our Podbean feed. It will
Okay.
automatically put it on there.
Nice.
The video is fine. This is mostly for Dungeon Addicts.
Gotcha.
Okay, so
Or more the audio versions.
it's
of
audio
things?
version. There's an audio version of our show.
Love how you
People-
point at your ears like people don't know how audio
audio
works.
version. Audio. Audio.
Visual.
Visual.
Taste.
There, YouTube is leaning
Smell-o-vision.
into the podcast world, and you might be like, "Well, duh, there's a lot of podcasts. I guess it's just for people who want to listen and don't want to have
Yeah.
a video."
This is probably an offshoot of YouTube Music.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
So, Dungeon Addicts has its own playlist. It's in order.
Nice.
Also, our show is on there as well.
Nice.
Then, our show, Dungeon Addicts and Geekonomics, is now on iHeartRadio,
Yes.
Samsung Podcast, Podchaser, and Boomplay.
Wow. I don't know who half of those are, but fantastic.
I added a bunch of platforms.
Awesome.
Yes.
And for those of you who are newer and don't know what Dungeon Addicts is, it is just us with playing Dungeons and Dragons with our friends.
Yes.
That our friend Bobby nicely records for us and edits and puts his own narrations to, and has a good time doing it. Him and his kids work on that together, and he works with local artists and musicians around the area to put songs on the show and such. And yeah, so thanks Bobby for doing all that work, because it's a lot, and I could barely concentrate sitting watching it, listening to it once, but I'm pretty sure he listens to it multiple times. So
Yeah.
and he makes them into bite-sized portions, like half hours. Is that what they are now?
No, but they're about an hour or less.
Oh, okay, but still,
yeah.
makes them into more of a bite-sized, as opposed to us usual 8-hour sessions that we play.
How, Mark? I got to start being on top of this.
Okay,
Guess who was in Hartford today?
who's in Hartford today, Brian?
At Cricket Wireless.
John Cena.
Damian Priest.
Oh, in Enfield.
East Hartford.
Oh, I'm not going to East Hartford to see Damian Priest.
May 6th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Well, he's already gone.
He's gone.
Darn.
Isn't that weird? Cricket Wireless?
Well, that's a sponsor of WWE.
I know.
Big sponsor.
Why do I? Our friend Jen Roman, who actually comes to my booth in
Okay.
Enfield, I'm friends with on Facebook, and she has met tons of wrestlers in the area.
Yes.
And I'm extremely jealous.
Yes.
And she got a photo with Damian Priest. I'm gonna show it to
Oh,
Mark.
man. Pretty cool.
That is pretty cool, huh?
With a blacked out sign.
Yeah, there must have been a reason for that.
Yes.
But that was just today.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has met. When I see her on the next Enfield show, I gotta ask her. I'm like, listen, you need to tell me when these things are happening, so I know, because holy
I mean,
smokes.
we did meet. We worked at Stafford. We did meet Chris Benoit.
Did we?
Yeah.
He
came to
came?
Stafford. Remember, you had him sign autographs and you held his belt?
When I was working there?
You made a joke about it. His
Yes.
last name?
Yes,
Yes.
I did.
Yes.
Oh my God, it's embarrassing.
Yes. But yeah,
Mankind.
Mankind at the town at
He
the
came to the Enfield Mall
The
when I
Enfield
worked
Mall?
at the mall,
Yep.
actually, and it was
Yeah.
a big thing. My friend got a mannequin's head
Yeah.
signed.
Yep. I met Vader, Big Van Vader at the Enfield
Oh my
Mall.
God, that's a name I have.
Yeah. Our buddy Bill Bullock has wrestlers at his shop every once in a while. Mick Foley's coming to his shop actually in the near future.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about the zombie. The zombie.
I
Zombie
met Bob
Hideout, yeah.
Backlund at the
Bob back and you see it every
yeah.
St. Patrick's Day
But
parade.
I got him to sign one of his books
Yeah.
at the Chamber of Commerce thing
Yeah.
that they do every year.
Yeah.
Mark, you have friends, so we have to go.
All
Okay.
right. We got to wrap it up. Let's say goodbye.
Josh and I met Cody Rhodes at the Blitzkrieg show back
Yes.
when he was doing his independent
Oh,
And
stuff.
he
That's
fought
so-
Dijak, who is
He
now
bought
on Raw.
Dijak, who's now on Raw,
That's awesome.
who I have the signed chair that they broke.
That's
and hit me in the
okay.
leg with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
All right, we should
But
go.
yeah. So as always, be safe, be well, be kind.
And rewind.
Bye, everybody.
See you next week.
Good night, Rocky.
Good night, Ryan.